What's up, guys, and welcome in. I talk about manifestation, frequency, energy, plant technology, dragons, that sort of thing. And I wanted to talk about the energy of rushing and how that could be causing some issues, problems, blockages, resistance. But we kind of have to understand what rushing is and how it compares to the natural state of reality, right? Like fundamental how reality works is timing, synchronicity. It's a machine. There are, when you think of us choosing to have this experience, this human experience, there are themes in life that unfold exactly when they're supposed to. People that you meet exactly when you're supposed to. If you have any level of synchronicity, right, whether if it's number synchronicity or events or things manifesting physically that you're just like, oh dang, I was just thinking about that. That is all timing, right? It reality is teaching us a particular way, right? It's hinting at how it works, right? So if you've experienced one of the most common ones, which is like number synchronicity at any level at all, right? If you've experienced it at all, that is a hint of the natural state. Timing and things happening exactly when they're supposed to, right? So when you rush, you're essentially signaling to the universe, I am not where I'm supposed to be right now. And if I don't get where I'm supposed to be, something bad is going to happen, right? Now, very important, because the natural state of the universe is here and now, right? There's no distance and there's no time at a fundamental level, right? We have the experience of time and distance because we agreed to have a particular type of experience here, but that is not the natural, like, that's not a fundamental law of reality. It's something that we agreed to experience in order to have a particular type of experience here in this incarnation that we're having right now. So when you are operating from the standpoint of things are not happening exactly when I want them to happen, but the natural state is everything's happening exactly when it's supposed to, you immediately create resistance. How does the resistance show up in life and physical reality? Blockages, delays, forgetting things. You are essentially consciously plucking yourself out of synchronistic timing, right? Because you're essentially saying things are not happening exactly when they're supposed to be happening. So if you look at reality from the standpoint of, okay, everything's happening here and now, why would I consciously choose to feel like I'm not exactly where I'm supposed to be, whether if that's life progression or just trying to get to work? Why do that, right? Like, we really have to go to the root cause. Like, you may feel like, it's not happening as quickly as I want, or things are not, but that's an assumed state, right? Then now we're kind of like going into the law of assumption, right? That is a assumed state that things are not divinely orchestrated, right? Reality is just like, okay, that's what you want to experience, right? You're not in place, things are chaotic, you're not exactly where you're supposed to. Okay, if that's what you want to experience, right? So that feeling of rushing is a ripple that goes out to the rest of reality that's saying, I'm not in place, right? And this can manifest in a ton of different ways, but that's a chosen state, okay? Please don't confuse this with speed. I'm not saying don't have speed in anything that you're doing, right? And that's a choice whether if you do or don't. But speed and rushing are two different things. Speed is the physical movement of things. Rushing is the idea, right? The emotion that's, saying things are not exactly in place, okay? So you can have speed in a way where you're efficient at your work or job, right? So that's an instance where you're like, okay, well, does that mean I should stop being efficient? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that be careful about the rushing part. Oh, I need to You know what I mean? Like that is the part that starts to ripple and manifest in the rest of reality. It changes your actions too when you start forgetting things, and you may make a choice thinking like, oh, this is the right thing to do, but then it causes a further delay, right? Which is the very thing that you're trying to avoid, right? So the way to truly avoid it is by not feeling it, right? Not assuming the state of things are not happening exactly when I want them to happen. So I hope that this is helpful on some level. I do talk more deeply about the law of assumption, or I guess I provide more info about the law of assumption in my ebook that is in my stand store on my main, YouTube page or whatever. So if you're interested in that, that's there. And I hope that this video was helpful for somebody in just understanding the dynamics between the natural order of how things unfold and choosing a state that is the opposite of that, and how that can show up in physical reality. So I appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.